So the WNBA media it's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. There's no way the Fever did not get better than one team that were better than last year. Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlin Clark has said plenty of times.
They thought no one would notice.
Whoa. The Indiana Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart.
That they could twist the narrative, bury the truth, and silence the roar of millions. But 2 minutes ago, everything changed.
So you're basically saying the Fever are going to be in the exact same position as they were last year.
The WNBA media just got exposed, caught red-handed humiliating Caitlin Clark in plain sight. This isn't a mistake. This isn't oversight. This is sabotage.
I think that the Fever have so much going for them that it's going to be hard to say you only improved this much. Not buying it.
The power rankings were the final straw, and now the gloves are off. She's the face of the league, breaking records, packing arenas, and dragging an entire franchise into the spotlight. And yet, they're treating her like a threat.
The Indiana Fever made with Caitlin Clark's presence on the court is undeniable.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
Why? What are they afraid of? Because someone, somewhere, decided that Caitlin Clark wasn't just too good. She was too dangerous to their agenda. And now it's all unraveling.
We just saw somebody basically say that they were scared to go to Iowa. And are these people not embarrassed saying that? Is Aja Wilson has said it as well about Indiana. Is Aja Wilson not embarrassed? Because the vast majority of fans that go to Caitlin Clark game.
The disrespect wasn't subtle, it was a direct hit. The WNBA dropped its preseason power rankings, and somehow, unbelievably, the Indiana Fever were placed 5th. 5th.
The Fever at 5, though. How are the Storm over the Fever?
The Indiana Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart. The Fever can finish anywhere, 5 on the low side. I think this team offensively is going to be dynamic and spectacular. I've got them at the number 2 seed, just blindly eyes closed if the schedule doesn't break their way.
After drafting the most electrifying player women's basketball has seen in decades, after adding veterans with championship DNA, after upgrading their coaching and roster across the board, they still rank them behind teams that got worse, behind teams dealing with injuries, behind teams that collapsed last season. This wasn't about basketball. This was about sending a message. And the target was Caitlin Clark.
I feel like one of the biggest things in that area was just getting to know and getting to play with Caitlin. I think Caitlin plays such a fast-paced game, and for me, I feel like the year before that, it wasn't as fast, and then coming in kind of having that same expectation of the way that we played the year before, and then coming in and Caitlin loves to play really fast, so I think that was definitely the adjustment. But, I think knowing that and having that mindset just helped in the offseason because I know exactly where I need to be.
When it suits them, Aaliyah Boston, the South Carolina fans don't even treat Aaliyah Boston like she's a alum just because she happens to play for the Indiana Fever and doesn't call out the fan base all the time.
She's not just any rookie. She's the rookie. The one who sold out arenas before she ever played a pro game. The one who shattered viewership records, brought in a wave of new fans, and redefined what it means to market women's sports. The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark is the reason casual fans suddenly care.
Something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
She's the reason the league is being talked about at dinner tables across America. And yet somehow the media acts like she's a fluke. One moment, they're calling her overrated. The next, they're pretending she hasn't changed the game. They don't want her to succeed. That much is obvious. This isn't about her skills, it's about power.
The main thing is the sport of basketball and growing the sport of basketball. That has to be a prerequisite for future hires, because I'm never going to say someone should be fired. I know other people are going to go out and say that, but I don't feel comfortable going out on the internet saying that. All I'm going to say is there's going to be so many people losing their jobs.
Control, jealousy. The media sees a young woman commanding attention they can't dictate, and they hate it. They'll promote other players for saying the same things Caitlin has said about unity, growth, respect. But when she says it, they twist her words, strip her of context, and frame her as arrogant.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
Oh, shocked me. I mean, I didn't know what the percentage breakdown of Fever gear and Iowa gear would be, but it felt pretty equal. But I just didn't know what to expect, so that was fun to see.
It's a double standard, plain and simple. One designed to keep her in check. But here's the truth. They can't. And that's exactly why they're trying so hard to tear her down. But the disrespect doesn't stop at rankings. It runs deeper into something far more toxic. The moment Caitlin Clark's MVP odds started climbing, the media pounced like vultures.
Honestly, I was really excited to just get out there and play, and especially getting to do it for the first time this season in front of these fans was really cool for myself. And just seeing the amount of people, young girls and young boys that stand there and scream for me to sign their stuff, I don't take that for granted. That's so cool. I would be lying to you if I thought that was just normal and everybody gets to do that. They don't. So I'm glad I can be a role model for them, and they have a great impact on me too.
Not to celebrate, not to discuss her impact, but to attack, one voice after another, some of whom had just finished demanding unanimous MVP respect for other players, suddenly flipped the script. Now it was disrespectful to even consider Caitlin Clark in the MVP race. Think about that. The same people who scream about fairness couldn't stomach the thought of her being acknowledged. And why? Why is Caitlin Clark treated like a threat?
You can see with your eyes that what they're saying is wrong, but they're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push to try make this 23-year-old woman now.
Because she doesn't fit the mold they've crafted. She isn't part of their inner circle. She didn't come up through their approved channels. She built her name on raw talent, on charisma, on performance, and she didn't ask for permission to shine. That terrifies them. Because Caitlin didn't just enter the league. She stormed in with millions behind her, and they can't control that. So what do? They undermine her. They amplify voices that tear her down. They twist support into controversy and turn praise into backlash.
They're going to promote Paige Beckers, as some say. Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlin Clark has said plenty of times.
Even worse, they elevate others for saying the exact same thing she does. When Paige Booker speaks out on issues, the media applauds. When Caitlin Clark echoes those same sentiments, she's met with silence. Or worse, backlash. The hypocrisy is blinding. It's no longer just about basketball. It's about who the media decides is allowed to lead this league. And right now, Caitlin Clark is being treated like an outsider.
The fact that you're seeing people in the media calling out everyone that's even close to a player they don't like.
Not because of what she's done wrong, but because of everything she's done right. The truth is, they're not just ignoring her. They're actively trying to rewrite the narrative. Paint her as privileged. Paint her as problematic. Anything to take the spotlight away. But here's the twist they didn't see coming. Fans aren't buying it. They see what's happening. They see the double standard. And they're not staying silent anymore.
Something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
And while the media tries to gaslight the audience into believing Caitlin Clark is the problem, the fans have already chosen their truth. They're packing arenas, flooding social media, chanting her name like she's already a legend, because to them, she is. She's the reason they're watching. She's the reason they care. But the louder the fans get, the more desperate the media becomes to drown them out.
CC, one word to describe today.
Only one word. Unreal.
Because she was posting negative things about the Sky. And I mean, she was posting things like free agents don't want to go there because of their facilities, and Satu Sabali did not want to go to Chicago Sky.
And it's not just media spin anymore. It's pure hypocrisy bleeding from inside the league itself. Remember when Antonio Brown posted disgusting, invasive content targeting Caitlin Clark? That should have been a clear line in the sand. That should have sparked outrage, condemnation, solidarity. But what did the WNBA say? What did the media do? Nothing. Crickets.
Obviously, he's working with college sports and right now has since privated their Twitter and made sure nobody knows where they work. Because I think so many people in women's basketball media are going to lose their jobs because they have Twitter fingers.
Silence from the very people who claim to champion women's empowerment. Worse, major figures within the league, people with influence, people who preach about protecting players, still follow him. When fans called them out, they didn't defend Caitlin. They didn't speak out. They blocked the fans and moved on. That's not leadership. That's cowardice. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is doing everything right. She's not stirring controversy. She's not slamming teammates. She's signing autographs for kids until her hand cramps. She's uplifting the sport and shining a light on every court she touches. But instead of standing behind her, too many in the league look the other way. Or worse, treat her like a threat. This isn't just media betrayal. It's institutional. It's the silence from fellow players, the cold shoulders, the lack of support when she's being vilified for things others get praised for. The narrative has become so warped, so biased, that being associated with Caitlin Clark is now a reason for suspicion.
I mean, he was arrested for a pretty bad, I don't know anything more about that, but there was the whole news thing about the guy getting arrested for a pretty bad crime. And Dawn Staley does not care. And anyone who mentions to Dawn Staley gets blocked.
And the sad part? The league has everything it's ever wanted in her. Talent, charisma, fan connection, and media power. But instead of building around that, they're trying to control it, dilute it, diminish it. But here's the problem for them. The fans won't let that happen. They've seen the truth.
This team is going to break so many records this year. Attendance, viewership, merch sales, all of the things.
This was a preseason WNBA game. It is unbelievable what it is Caitlin Clark does.
Whenever Caitlin Clark takes the floor, that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball.
They've heard the silence, and they're not going to forget who stood up and who didn't when it mattered most. The media may think they can control the story, that they can silence the truth with spin, with silence, with smear campaigns. But not this time. Caitlin Clark isn't alone. She never was.
1.3 million viewers on the TV rating for Caitlin Clark's preseason debut against Brazil in a blowout, sold out in front of 15,000 fans at $670 a ticket. She is the needle.
Caitlin Clark returned to Iowa yesterday. It looked like the entire state of Iowa shut down. This is what the drawing power of a real star looks like.
Millions of fans are watching, speaking out, and standing with her. The WNBA has a choice: embrace the future or get left behind by it. Because no matter how hard they try to twist the narrative, the truth is louder. And Caitlin Clark? She's not backing down. She's just getting started.
They will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. Mm-hmm. She has it. She's got the thing. We can't assign it.
There have always been the dominant teams. There is UConn. There is South Carolina. I think that the fact that Caitlin Clark started on a team that did not have mind-blowing talent existing and brought that team to a championship really says something about you as a player. And when you are ranking players, you are ranking them as an individual unit rather than a team.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player in the entire WNBA, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.